In the distant past, long before Robert's rebellion, long before even Egan's conquest, the world was plunged into darkness. It was an age known only as the Long Night. The legends tell us that a winter unlike any other fell upon the world, a night that lasted for a generation. Crops failed, cities froze, and across the wastelands of the north a new enemy emerged, the Others. Known by some as White Walkers, they brought with them death itself. Their touch could raise the fallen, turning friend into foe. Armies of corpses marched at their command, and it seemed no kingdom of man could withstand them. The story, as it has come down to us, is that all seemed lost, until the first men, aided perhaps by the children of the forest, fought back, and at last, after untold struggle, the Others were defeated, the world was saved. At least, that is how the tales are told. Old Nan speaks of it, Maesters record it. Every corner of Westeros has some shadow of the story, though the details shift and blur with every telling. But here is where the mystery begins. Were the Others truly defeated, or is this simply what people chose to believe after the darkness lifted? Hello everyone, and welcome to Storyteller's Codex. Here, we delve deep into the rich lore of The Lord of the Rings, A Song of Ice and Fire, and the vast worlds beyond. Welcome. History is written by the victors, but what happens when no one truly wins? When we look back on the Long Night, we rely on stories passed down through the centuries. But in Westeros, history is rarely reliable. Maesters compile their chronicles from scraps of half-remembered tales from songs and myths twisted by time. Consider this. Old Nan's stories describe an endless winter, the dead rising and heroes long forgotten. But cross the narrow sea and in Yi Ti, the same age of darkness is remembered very differently. They speak not of the Others, but of the blood betrayal, a time when the sun itself hid its face in sorrow. In Asshai, the shadowed city, the tales speak of Azor Ahai, the hero who wielded a burning sword against the encroaching night. Was this the same struggle the first men faced? Or are these fragments of separate events, stitched together by later generations? Even in Westeros the legends contradict one another. Some say the children of the forest aided mankind, others claim it was the last hero who sought them out in desperation. The stories change depending on who is telling them, so we must ask, if the very cause of the Long Night is uncertain, and if the supposed heroes are half-forgotten myths, how certain can we be that the Others were truly defeated at all? When the stories say the Others were defeated, what does that really mean? Were they destroyed, driven back, banished? Or did they simply vanish into the frozen wastes of the far north, waiting for the right time to return? We know this much. The Others are not like men. They are not a people who can be conquered in the usual sense. You cannot sack their cities because they have none. You cannot burn their fields, for they do not plant them. The idea of defeating them in a conventional war makes little sense. Some accounts speak of the Others being driven away. Others describe them as retreating into the uttermost north. Not one says that they were utterly destroyed, and perhaps this is the most telling clue of all. Because if the Others were truly ended, why then do the first men still raise the wall? Why maintain such a vast and costly defence, stretching from one end of the continent to the other, if the threat was gone forever? It suggests that even in victory the people of that age understood something, that the Others were not ended, only held back, only delayed, and if that is the truth, then what we call their defeat may have only been a stalemate, a pause in a war far older and far longer than we realise. If we step beyond the songs and tales of Westeros, the world of ice and fire offers us further hints about the Others, and none of them bring certainty. We are told that the Long Night was not only a Westerosi calamity, it was a global one. In Essos, whole empires remember that age of darkness. In Yi Ti, it was the time of the blood betrayal, when the Bloodstone Emperor cast down his kin, and the world itself seemed to mourn. In Asshai, they speak of Azor Ahai, the hero who drew a burning sword to fight the encroaching night. Different names, different myths, but one common truth, a darkness that threatened the entire world, not just the north. And yet, even in all these records, the Others themselves remain a mystery. The Maesters admit that no one knows where they came from. Were they created by the children of the forest, as some whisper? Are they spirits of ice as old as the first snows? Or are they something else entirely? Something outside the cycle of men and children and kingdoms? The gaps in knowledge are almost deliberate. No one records how the others were first defeated. No one describes their homeland with certainty. All we have are fragments, hints, and contradictions, and perhaps that is the point. Because in a world as vast as this one, where even the greatest maesters cannot agree on the cause of the doom of Valyria, why should we expect clear answers about the Long Night? Instead, the sources leave us with shadows that suggest the others may not have been destroyed at all, but merely retreated, as they always have, into mystery. George R.R. Martin tells us again and again that history repeats itself. The same mistakes, the same wars, the same patterns dressed up in new names and faces. The first men and the Andals fought for centuries, yet their struggles mirror each other. Dragons once united Westeros, then tore it apart, and then returned again to unite and destroy. Over and over, the same cycles play out. So why should the Long Night be any different? The tales we hear may speak of a single great victory, a final ending. But if we look more closely, the pattern is all too familiar. A great darkness falls, a hero rises, light returns, and then, centuries later, the darkness rises once more. In truth, the Long Night may never have been ended, only delayed. Like a wheel turning, the same conflict comes back around, each age believing it faces it for the first time. The wall itself stands as proof of this fear. Its size, its scale. It was never meant as a monument to a past victory. It was built as a warning and as a shield for the ages to come. The people who raised it must have known. The others were not gone forever. They would return. And now, in the story we follow, they have. Which begs the question, if the Long Night is part of a cycle, what does that mean for Westeros today? If the others were not destroyed in the Long Night, then where did they go? Some legends say they were driven into the uttermost north. Others describe them as vanishing when the dawn returned. But vanishing is not the same as dying. And the uttermost north still exists, a frozen wilderness beyond even the knowledge of the free folk. It is here, in the lands of always winter, that many believe the others have lingered, patient, watching, waiting. This, perhaps, explains their sudden reappearance in the current age. If they were gone forever, why do they walk again? If they were a threat only of legend, why are rangers of the Night's Watch once more falling to their blades? The truth may be unsettling. The Long Night did not end. It only paused. The others did not fall. They retreated, gathering strength in the frozen heart of the world. And now, at last, they have returned. But if this is so, then it raises a darker question still. If they could wait thousands of years before, what is their true purpose now? Is this a war for survival? A vengeance long delayed? Or something even stranger? A cycle that neither men nor others can ever truly break? So, were the others truly defeated? The histories tell us they were. The songs speak of heroes, of dawn returning, of darkness broken. But the gaps, the contradictions, and the very survival of the wall suggest another truth. That what we call their defeat may only have been a retreat. The others are not gone. They never were. They endured, hidden in the lands of always winter, biding their time. And now the cycle begins again. The Long Night was not a single war, long finished. It is a pattern, a rhythm, a secret that the world itself may never escape. And perhaps that is the most unsettling truth of all. Because if the others were never truly defeated, then maybe they cannot be. If you are interested in The Lord of the Rings or A Song of Ice and Fire, click one of the links on the screen to dive deeper into the lore. Thanks for watching, and we hope to see you next time.